iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
A personal challenge was, I have limited experience with the camera. But I looked at that as an opportunity to learn a skill that I do not come by, that's not natural to me. And the way that you do that is you surround yourself with really, really extraordinary artists like Bill Pope. And you learn from him every day, and you understand, and you start to glean information from him by, and I would talk about the emotional landscape of the scene, and he would talk about it from a technical point of view. And somehow through that collaboration, we were able to arrive at decisions that, hopefully would illuminate the film, scenes in the film.
You have to really trust the director, which we did. Joe Mantello is a genius, and in the editing too. I mean, you really have to trust that moment when they're dancing to Heat Wave and I walk in is going to have the same sense of humor and gravitas that you want to get across. So, we didn't need the laughter, but you hope and kind of know in the back of your mind that they're going to edit it in a way that makes sense and makes that work.
It's making me realize more and more how powerful and poignant Mart's script truly is, and the humanity that umbrellas over this whole thing, even though it is specifically about gay people, it covers all of humanity in these situations between these humans.
Now we have a global audience. We have a global audience coming up. So to be able to amplify that message is a really incredible feeling.
Joe Mantello, the Broadway director, is everything. You learn so much. He grows you in a way that you want every director to grow you. But Joe on film, what was really great was to clock Joe, the brilliant man with such knowledge and intellect, be in a room where he's also learning and growing and not afraid to ask questions. And so to see someone who leans into curiosity and the unknown, that's probably what I'll take most from him with the movie experience.
It was really one of the most extraordinary experiences, and I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that about everything, but their camaraderie and I think our chemistry as a group is just it's very rare when you stumble into those experiences, and it's one of the proudest achievements of my life, and also frankly just one of the most enjoyable.
I started thinking about it as a TV series. I brought it to 21 Laps, to obviously Stranger Things, so many amazing shows, and we brought it to Nick Jonas and then brought it to Netflix.
There was one scene where Diego, who plays Benny, and I, we shot a very short scene, and we were on a rooftop, and it was at night, and you saw the whole New York skyline, and they made it snow, and that was just that was a lovely little moment.
I don't think Troy knows this, but when I was first developing Dash and Lily with 20 Laps, even before we started writing it, I'd always had Troy in the back of my mind as someone who could be amazing Langston. So that was always, I'd always hoped I could rope him into this, and it worked out. Now he is.
I would hope that a lot of people watch our show and feel seen and feel represented. I think that me personally, being of the queer community and being of mixed race, I think that it's really important to show representation, and I don't think that any movie or TV show can thoroughly depict every kind of individual that exists, but I do think I am really proud of our show, and that I think that we're taking a step in the right direction towards progression and representation and diversity, and I think it's great that it's like a YA series, and I hope that a lot of young queer people and a lot of young mixed people just see themselves depicted in a normal way. I think it's really, specifically for Langston, I think it's really refreshing to play a queer mixed race character who isn't grappling with those two identities. I think even though it is unfortunately a very common, experience for people of the queer community to deal with, self-acceptance and self-identity, I think it's really important to depict characters that just are, and it's not questioned by themselves or their friends or family. And I think Langston is a great message of hope for that.
We all kind of gelled really quickly. And so I felt very, very welcome amongst these kind of him and James, and Meryl's certainly done Broadway, and Nick's a singer and married to a singer and all that stuff. But I trained extensively. I have a really wonderful vocal coach. And also I'm like, you can do this. Can you go back to your roots? This is what you did. You did musical theater when you were in high school. And it's a kind of a full circle thing for me. But I was put into an environment that was encouraging and supportive. And so that made it, that calmed the nerves.
It's crazy. I was watching it last night and just the sort of surreal and absurd nature of the whole thing was really, really hitting me.
Parents and their kids started having conversations, and some even came out because of the Broadway show. We had one girl who was at the stage door. She said, "My mom's over there and I'm gonna come out to her tonight." And this show helped me, get the courage to do that. And so we're hoping that's on a global scale now. We're hoping that people that don't usually see themselves represented on the screen will see themselves, and hopefully, it's the holidays and everyone's around and you're quarantining together. Hopefully it sparks these really meaningful and hopefully positive conversations.
Part of the movie is set in Indiana, where I'm from, and the idea of not being able to go to the prom with the person of your choice is something I experienced in high school. So I just had a personal relationship to it, and I had long wanted to make something that was and felt like an old-fashioned movie musical, that I loved as a kid. And so this was it.
I think it makes you think of what makes you happiest in your life, and usually those things are not aligned with fear. And seeing this movie, the elation in it, the joy in it, in acceptance, in putting away your fear of what's different from you, what's, I think it's something everybody will react to differently. If you've been on the raw end of intolerance, you're going to come away with a hopeful feeling. If you've been someone who has been intolerant, you maybe have a little window open in your heart. But I think everybody's going to come away with a different feeling, and I hope they come away with the feeling that they want to see it again. Get more on the next viewing.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.